I'm Joel Makower, Executive Editor at Green Biz Group. I'm here with Richard Mattison, the CEO of S&P Global TrueCost. Welcome to the 2021 State of Green Business Report. Each year, and this is our 14th annual report, we take a look at some of the trends and metrics that define how well sustainable business is doing. This year is some remarkable news, given how bad things were in 2020 with pandemic, social unrest, economic upheaval. Sustainability stayed on the map for the world's biggest companies. In fact, many companies actually stepped up their commitments and achievements. We covered some of the big trends that are going on last year and the year ahead around the S in ESG gaining currency, around sustainable mobility becoming a new perk inside companies, around the growth of industrial decarbonization. But the real metrics come in the second half of the report, the State of Green Business Index put together by TrueCost. Rich, give us some highlights from that part of the report.
Thanks, Joel. Yes, I mean, 2020, I agree, was an unprecedented year of volatility. And in fact, sustainability provided consistency during the year. So we saw record inflows to sustainable funds during the year against the backdrop of market volatility. We saw 1,400 companies commit to net zero emissions and around 100 banks and investors. Also in the same year, we saw a saddening report that showed that since 1970, we've lost 68% of biodiversity. So we have some risks, and our report would show that nearly 95% of US companies and 80% of global companies will face significant risks associated with things like climate change by 2050. And that most companies are really on track, not on a 2-degree or less track, which is the Paris Agreement, but more like a 3 or 3.5 degree trajectory with a shortfall of 72% in terms of the emissions reductions required. So we've got a long journey to travel here, but we need to travel it pretty fast, I think. And in a more positive review of the market, we found that 90% of US companies published a sustainability report this year, versus 20% in 2011. So a really significant increase in disclosure on sustainability. However, only 16% of US companies actually just published ESG information in their SEC filings. So I think one of the things to watch going forward will be the role of the regulator in disclosure. And in fact, the trickle-down effect of the role of the regulator in regulating sustainable finance, which will actually affect how companies allocate capital and invest in sustainable solutions themselves. So a lot to watch for in 2021, and a lot of interesting things we noted in our report from 2020. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, as always, good news and not so good news in the world of sustainable business. Lots more in the report. Thank you so much for reading it on behalf of the teams at S&P Global TrueCost and Green Biz Group. We look forward to hearing your comments on this year's State of Green Business Report.